I think one must be very careful not to, well, sort of throw the baby out with the bathwater and all that sort of stuff. And although we may disparage Boris, I think we should not underestimate his intelligence, his wit, his clever writing. For example, somebody pointed out that the quotation that he'd made from Julius Caesar was wrong. It wasn't wrong, actually. The quotation is from Act 1, Scene 2 of Julius Caesar. Yond Cassius has a lean and hungry look. He thinks too much. Such men are dangerous, absolutely. And Boris is quite right to quote. We shouldn't just assume Boris is going to make mistakes. In the same way, I sort of tire of people telling me, don't call him Boris, he's not your friend. Well, yeah, he's not my friend. But I have met him, and I have met his family, and Boris is how I know him, and I'm sorry about that. I have no intention. I have no intention of addressing Putin as Vladimir. I was never introduced to him in those terms. Putin for me will always be Putin. Boris for me will always be Boris. And Johnson will always be something in the trouser department. But do I mock Boris? Absolutely. Absolutely. But as I have found him, I don't want to project something backwards. And somebody says here, oh dear, it was only yesterday that the prof was telling us how phenomenally clever Johnson is. Yes, I agree. But today the wind changes and the prof decides that Johnson is a fool. For someone whose knowledge of Johnson goes back to Oxford, you may have thought the prof could have formed a more solid opinion of a man by now. Well, it's perfectly possible to be clever and to be a fool. I've known many of those people who fall into both categories. People can have a high IQ. I've been teaching a sort of IQ thing through a ridiculous system called Atom, which is based on an American series of sort of tick box exams. And by doing enough of these, you're supposed to improve somebody's ability to take the basic IQ tests of verbal thinking, non-verbal thinking, and so on. It seems to me to be a fairly pointless effort. I don't think I've ever consciously taken an IQ test in my life, and I think I'd be bored by the prospect of doing so, as indeed would Bay, who's advancing towards me and telling me it's getting far too late. And he's absolutely right. But, it's perfectly possible to be clever and to be foolish at the same time. I know many people who could, who are brilliant mathematicians and can't clean the dishwasher. I must say I'm not very good on the dishwasher myself.